Like, I have a brain tumor.
Kenzie Ziegler sent shockwaves all over the internet a while ago when she revealed that she struggles with her health, because we didn't know it was so bad that she even passed out on the freeway. This came as a shock to many because it revealed just how much damage dance moms caused these kids. But there's a twist, loves. Unfortunately, Kenzie also said something that didn't sit well with a lot of people, and we need to talk about this. This is super serious, y'all, so let's just dive right into it.
I mean, I have a brain tumor. Like, I have a brain tumor. But yeah, it was really tricky because no one understood what I was going through because it sounded so severe, and I think people thought I was being dramatic most of the time. Maddie and I both have anxiety. Maddie deals with it way differently than I do. Like, Maddie wants you to distract her.
I can send you the address.
He didn't bring his phone, so...
Oh, I can give you the address.
No need.
Can't hurt.
Might hurt.
Kenzie Ziegler just can't seem to catch a break, y'all. Just when we thought she was still healing from her breakup with Takata Dubs after deleting pics of each other from IG. And we will come to learn that later she recently revealed that heartbreaks are the least of her worries right now because she is not fine on the inside. And the worst part is she hasn't been fine for a very long time. I mean, years, you guys. Now, before we get into the heart of the matter, let me just give you some background info for context. It all went down during a podcast session, and as y'all can already predict, every time these former Dance Moms cast members get interviewed, they'll always be asked about the post effects of Dance Moms competitions because it's a known fact that Dance Moms really took a mental toll on them.
I don't really need producers. I could probably make a kid cry in 30 seconds. I know exactly what to say to a child to make them run to their mother and then get their mother all ticked off.
Just imagine putting kids in such a super toxic and competitive space. It was the worst period of their lives because it ended up messing with their self-esteem and self-confidence. Just to remind you of how bad things were at Dance Moms, most of the girls literally blocked out some of the moments of the show. Like, they just can't even remember certain episodes.
Is your mother
Get
speaking
your
for you?
finger
Do you
out
want to
of
be
my face, girl. Out the room. Yeah, you idiot.
At one point, Maddie confirmed that she still gets shocked when videos of her as a kid pop up online, and she literally never recalls doing or saying certain things. The brain does this to protect you from pain or a very difficult period in your past. So, yep, the show that made them who they are today is the very same one that broke them to the core. Anyways, back to Kenzie. So, on the podcast, she talked about her mental health struggles and just how bad her anxiety can get.
I grew up on a reality show. I definitely had some struggles during the show and during filming just because I was incredibly anxious, but I had no idea what it meant.
Kenzie narrated having panic attacks and how she'd shake so much she'd literally feel like she was losing her mind. Remember, guys, Mackenzie was on Dance Moms from 6 to 11 years old, so you can imagine the torture chambers that show was.
I would have panic attacks and I would shake a lot, and it was not as bad as it was after I got off the show, but no one really told me what it was.
What Kenzie described in the podcast isn't something a kid should ever go through. It's an experience I only used to hear adults talk about when they were talking about toxic work environments, and so to think she had this weight on her as a kid, as if she had major financial responsibility, when in fact she was just a minor who needed to be cared and protected for and allowed to play with slime like normal kids. Unfortunately for Kenzie, Maddie, and the other Dance Moms girls, their moms had signed a deal with the devil, and so the girls paid dearly.
So after I got off the show, I went to therapy when I was 12 or 13, I think it was. And they were like, oh, you 1,000% have anxiety. And I knew that I had something wrong with me because I started to disassociate a lot, which was like really weird for me because I hate being not in control of my body no matter what the circumstances. Like it's a weird feeling. It's an out of body experience that I feel like you only understand if you've disassociated.
Now, with that in mind, this brings us to the meat of the story, which is also the point where things took a nosedive to this rather sad story, and it got people super mad.
But I remember the first time I had a really, really bad panic attack where I was like, oh, I know something's wrong with me. You know when you feel that like anxiety wave come, it honestly, it feels like a wave.